welcome to the show. This evening, my guest is Shonda Free, who is the creator of The God Machine, a webcomic currently on Global Comics. I became aware of her back in the early 2000s through the Comic Geek Speak community. So let's bring her in, find out more about her and her work.
Hello.
Um,
By the way, it's Chandra.
Chandra, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's the bane of my life. No one can say it.
So, like I said, I found out about you through the Comic Geek Speak community, and I think it was I forget which Super Show you your first Super Show, but
Oh my goodness. What year was that? Was that
2009 or
20,
2010.
probably 2010, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh boy. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. So, before we get into talking about your comic, tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience with comics, both as a reader and as a creator.
Okay, so of course, my name is Chandra Free. I'm a comics creator, weirdo that loves the Venture Brothers a little too much. But let's see, what else about me? I love the medium of comics, obviously. I have an interesting little tale. Well, it's not that interesting because a lot of people say, like, oh, my first comic was Garfield. So there you go. My first comic was Garfield. Those newspapers were just so cool with all the little stuff. And it's like, screw this news stuff. Let's go for the good stuff, the comics. And I mean, I would emulate all that kind of stuff as I was getting older, and I didn't get into Marvel DC until like '97 or something like that, and that was a very short stint. It was very short, but I was like, yeah, X-Men, woo! Something about that was really cool. So as a reader, nowadays, and I'll talk. I'm all over the place, by the way. As a reader nowadays, I don't read enough, to be honest. For the last 3 years, I've been on hiatus. I have this giant stack of to read pile that's just glaring at me every single day. Like, why aren't you reading me? It's manga, it's graphic novels, personal memoirs, and all this other like cool comic stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know. I want to go to sleep when it's time to go to bed instead of stay up and read comics because I've already been dealing with comics all day. So, but I mean, I like stuff like Way of the House Husband for manga. That's a fun one. Just kind of slice of life kind of stuff is my bag, and I think I have a Adrian Tomine book hanging out on that big to read pile. I think it's like in Dying and Killing. I'm totally butchering the name of that title, but it was something I didn't know that he had done, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a bunch of mini stories, but yeah, I'm a weirdo who's all over the place. Obviously, that's me, Chandra Free. That's my brand. So, oh, what else would you like to know about me?
So when did you get into, creating your own? You start, drawing and writing and all that good stuff.
So my typical story that I tell everyone is that my mom says I could draw before I could walk. So there's that. That's what my mom says. But I mean, all I remember in my life is art and drawing and creating. And early on, I made my own comics as a very young person with my cousin, Lindsay Sebos, who is also, she's a mangaka and illustrator in her own right. We're both the same age. Uh, she's the daughter of my mom's identical twin sister, so we're like half sisters in a lot of ways. Really weird little factoid right there, because anyways, we grew up making comics. We did Disney comics. We did like Tiny Toons comics, Sonic comics, you name it. We did it. You know, we were so interested in that. And after we got done doing kind of like the fan arty comics, we started making our own like worlds. This is early on, like probably 5th grade. We're starting to make our own stories about our own characters. Went through middle school, high school, you know, and at some point I was like, you know, the high school question is, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to study in college? And it wasn't until I was handed I Feel Sick, a story about a girl from Joan and Vasquez, that I had the eureka moment of, oh, I don't have to do manga. I don't have to do the big two. I can just do whatever the heck I want to do, like any style that I could possibly dream up. Wow, sign me up. I want to do independent comics. And it's like, well, what do you take when you go to college for that? Not much. I took fine art. That's my path in college, and they didn't have an illustration spot. I went to University of Central Florida. I don't recommend it whatsoever unless you're going in for a what is it? Engineering degree. Yes, that would be why you go to that college. Because oh my God, anyways, it was a time. But it wasn't until 2005 I started. I took a break from college. I was close to finishing, 6 courses away from finishing, kind of like for a 4-year. I took that break, got into comics, still on hiatus. You know that break. You know. But yeah, I started talking to Serena Valentino at that time, and she was trying to get me on a book that didn't go anywhere, but then I led me to work on a book called Sullen Gray as a colorist, and that was probably about 2006, 2007 is that very beginning stages of me being a part of the industry.
So, give us a little background about the God Machine, kind of what inspired it. What's the, elevator pitch for the series?
Okay, so we're gonna do the elevator pitch for Volume 1, and then we'll get into what inspired it, because oh my. Okay, it's been a while, a few months actually. It's a weird story about a young man who's going through a weird time in his life. His girlfriend just recently died, and now he's starting to see monsters and things, and he's questioning what's real and what's not. Until a mysterious man comes to him and tells him, hey, your girlfriend's still alive. You're the only one who can go and save her. You have that ability to do so. And our lead character, Mr. Guy Salvatore, is like, what the heck are you talking about? This can't be real. What is going on? So, story about teen angst, gods, monsters, humor. There's lots of humor, even though there's lots of darkness. Adult themes. But yeah, it's a continuing story, obviously. I mean, well, not obviously, but I mean, now it is. Because I took a very long break. A very, very long break. But God Machine, I can't shake it. I can't get rid of it as part of my life, because it was 1999 that I started the seeds of God Machine, when it was just known as the comic. It really came from my senior year of high school, as these things do, and it was like out of a billion ideas I was just throwing at the wall, because I wanted to do something different that wasn't like the manga that I was doing before, because I was doing like shoujo, like anthropomorphized like comics, Brandy the Star Child. I love Brandy the Star Child. It's such a little nugget of what I created for my own pleasure from middle school to high school, and then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Anime is so passe. This is 1999, by the way. I'm already over it. I'm that person. And so a lot of things stem from this one drawing of this guy with glasses and two little dots for eyebrows. And I'm like, I couldn't stop drawing him. And I was like, I have to draw this. He needs a name. And I mean, I'm that nerd that had Street Fighter Alpha 2 poster up hanging. And one of the characters' names is Guy. I'm like, Guy's a great name. It's a very great name. I'm going to name my character Guy after the character on my poster. But I mean, like, I was really, I mean, I'm still into those video games, but that's the first startings of God Machine. And then I had one of my friends, JT, he was my muse at the time. He really inspired me in a lot of ways. He's like, aren't we just like, as artists, the gods of our own creations? I'm like, oh my God. Yes, we are. In fact, I will be good God, you'll be evil God, and your brother will be limbo God. Yeah, somehow we were the archetypes for the characters, but obviously, like, it would stemmed from us, but it turned into something a lot more than just it's me and him and his brother. But it added this weird little complexity of like who these people are, because it gave them a little quirkiness, because JT was a friggin' nut. Just weirdo all the way. And so Evil God is the weirdo in all the ways, but like times 11, you know, he's out there. But yeah, the God Machine would form through those early days and into my college years, where a lot of politics would play, and how I'd also start like building a more intricate story about conspiracies and stuff like that within like the government of the gods, which is, I think, really interesting and not reflective of the first volume whatsoever at all. Well, that's not, I did fix a few things for the re-release of the book, where I hint at there's an underground organization called the Renovatus, but I don't think I even say that in here. So there you go, spoilers. So I mean, like, it got so much richer and deeper than just a guy who was in high school and lamenting the girlfriend's death. It became something so much more, and something about like questing and finding yourself, you know, coming of age story. I mean, that's all. I have about 10 of these volumes planned, and what? I'm now getting to number 2. Oh dear.
So tell me a little bit about bringing it to Global Comics and why that platform.
Okay, so I was looking for a while. Well, first of all, I decided I want to do a webcomic again, because it had been a long time. The original volume 1 of God Machine used to be rough pages on DeviantArt, and people could read it that way with all my hand lettered stuff, and which is not easy to read and full of spelling mistakes. But when it came to making the decision, like, okay, I need to get this going and I need to be motivated somehow, webcomics seemed to make a lot of sense. It just, like, something clicked back into me of like, hey, I need to create, I need to do God Machine, I need to make this happen. So it's like, all right, let's see what we have going on here in this current climate. Of course, we know there's webtoons, there's tapas. These are major like spots but they skew to a younger audience, and even Webtoon has like PG-13 is their kind of their limit for their content. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work for me to like retool the God Machine like 100%. I don't know. It's a very dark adult kind of story, and also predominantly. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of these things, like having a 13-year-old set of guidelines. Always like that's needed, right? But the vertical comic type stuff, that's not like my brain doesn't function that way, and reformatting pages seem like a nightmare, and I want to have a second volume essentially in a print format. And vertical comics, they're just so narrow, and they can be limiting in what I perceive. I know lots of people who can do some amazing stuff using that, and all the power to them. I'm just, it's not me. I'm old. But when I saw like Global Comics kind of taking up the mantle for comicsology, rest in peace. I guess it kind of exists, but you know. But the fact that Global Comics just seem to have the right kind of tools to make your own guided view, so people can go from panel to panel, and their structure of like their comics, and also like Image Comics, I think IDW and a couple other big people are going there to now set up shop and sell their comics and present comics as either downloadables or web comics. And like there's varying degrees of what you can do there. You can even do vertical comics on Global Comics, but it seems like they're mostly interested, not mostly interested, in my viewpoint, the traditionally styled comic page is still like revered as something good, you know, and especially like how Comixology used to do their guided view and stuff like that. That made it cool for, you know, if you're on your phone or, you know, a device or whatever, like it was still viable as a full page comic. You could still read it. And so here we go with Global Comics. You still have that kind of that same kind of essence, and it still feels fresh and new, even though I know it's not. One of my friends, Drew Edwards, has been like, you got to get on Global Comics. I'm like, I'll get there. I'll get there. So I really like it, and they were really really cool with helping with my campaign for putting out the word for volume 2 and putting volume 1 up for people, everyone to see. Really, I've been posting lately. Tomorrow will be the last update of like chapters from volume 1, because I wanted to get everyone up to date, up to speed, get everybody excited for volume 2. And if you want the actual like book, you can purchase it through me. Like Shopify, just find us at Machina Corpse. But I mean, like, you can get the book from us, and you can also buy the full PDF that has like Jill Thompson's forward and the original forward of Doc Hammer, and a couple extra illustrations in there. Like, you can buy that right now for $7 on Global Comics. Though, sorry, I didn't do a guided view for that. That was a big commitment at the beginning.
I can imagine. I mean,
Oh my God.
hey,
Before we started talking, I was doing guided view for tomorrow's update. It's a lot.
so how long does your process take from writing to drawing to getting it ready for viewing on Global Comics?
So that's complicated, since volume 2 has been written for several years. I mean, it gets
Mhm.
tooled every so often. So I'm a slow writer. I don't profess to be the best writer in the whole entire world, but I'm a storyteller, and I have always stood by that. And I learn something new all the time when it comes to writing. So it really, the equation of writing is difficult to say on this thing, but now it's a little bit different. I, instead of doing pencils, like I did for the original, I'm doing 100% digital, which is something new for me, which is taking a little bit less time. Now, what you're going to see on Global Comics is monochromatic pages from volume 2, just so I can get them out. So as scenes transition, a different color will be there, and textures and like shading and whatnot, but not the full color, because oh my goodness, do I hate color. And I do it so well too. At least I've been told that.
Yes.
It's my specialty, and I hate it. I really do, because it's about like matching colors from the one panel to the other panel. Did it match the page from X amount of days ago? Da, 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 da. Like it's a lot. Plus, I'm trying to encourage myself to really like get a lot of work done finally, and not just take my good old time. I really want to start producing and getting the work out there and having feedback as well. Like, I want to hear what people have to say about this story that I've been wanting to share with so many people for so long. And I'm sure it's a disappointment that there's no color there, but I think there's a lot to still like enjoy. And it's also me experimenting, not experimenting, I've been doing this for a while now, but kind of like doing inking for the
Mhm.
first like go of it, because I don't ink, but I do draw. So it's, it's close to inking. So so I couldn't tell you exactly, because I'm still in the throes of figuring out a lot of things, but these pages are going faster than they had in the past. So that's good, because it used to be a day of pencils, 2 to 3 days of colors, and writing. We'll just put a big question mark on it.
Okay. Sounds good. So where does volume 2 pick up in the story?
It picks up exactly at the very end of volume 1, where he's on the spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't read book 1. So just skip over a few seconds here or something. Right where he's like on in a lava world, and he's like, "Where the heck am I?" And we pick up right there, and he's just set dab in this dimple nest. Dimples are these weird creatures that are kind of bat-like, but also have no legs. They're really creepy, and he is confronted by the Dimbles, and I don't want to spoil everything.
No, don't. Okay, well, I'll give you, if you want to, we can move on to 5 questions, and then at the end, I'll give you a chance to kind of give a pitch for, the the book and where people can find it.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, question 1. Um, who are your influences, writing and art-wise?
Uh, that's a loaded question, because it's just all of my history with cartoons, with art history, comic books and whatnot. And I feel like I'm a combination of a lot of those things, like anime, WB, Disney, a little sprinkle of Jonan Vasquez, Art Nouveau in some ways, and like abstract expressionism paintings and whatnot. And for writing, I think it's just me. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I it's just I didn't. I mean, the person I really adore I adore a lot of people's writing actually, so I don't know if I can really single out anybody. Because they all seem to be my friends too. I don't know.
Okay.
It's always nice.
Question two. I know from following you on Facebook, that you are, really into mixed drinks and stuff. What's the perfect mixed drink to read with the God Machine?
Oh shoot! You got me. Okay, so this is really difficult because like it's coming. Like a dark red wine, I think. Might get off the mixed drink because I think mixed drink could be. I mean, there's a scene where there's absinthe, like legit absinthe in the book, but I feel like that's a little too heavy for this. But you need something that's brooding. I'm so all about old fashions right now. It's ridiculous. So, and of course, the other day I made a mocktail that was similar to mojito and a gin and tonic. Oh wow, you really got me. I'm gonna have to think about this. The drink that goes with the God Machine. Oh, why haven't I thought of this before? Thank you. I got some homework.
So, all right, question three. When you're doing your art and all that, do you listen to music? And if so, kind of what kind of music?
Absolutely. So music is my lifeblood. If anyone who's gone through God Machine, you probably caught a lot of like music references and little shout outs and stuff like that. So it's really difficult to say because I have a God Machine playlist that's not only inspirational music, but stuff that I would think that they would listen to in the book. It's on Spotify. Look for my name, Chandra Free, and you'll find the God Machine soundtrack. That's a good little like thrust of like 90s alt, Depeche Mode, industrial, electro pop, synth pop. Like it's all over the place. And but for right now, like I'm in a mix of like when I'm drawing, I sometimes it's mystery science theater in the background, just keeping me focused. Sometimes it's classical, no, not classical Brazil music, but like kind of samba. Uh,
Mhm.
I blow your mind with all the random music I listen to. I also listen to a lot of Japanese city pop. This is
Okay.
my lately. This is what I've been into, and just the other day when I was doing some work, I was listening to Future Islands, their new album, and that was pretty. I was grooving pretty well, like drawing, dancing, and it's like, and some of this stuff doesn't fit my like usual goth motif, but I mean, like I've listened to so much music over my life, like from when I was a little kid to now. I am just like versed in music except pop. I don't know what the kids listen to. I'm sorry. I know what the kids are listening to like 5 years afterwards.
Mhm.
That's how that goes. I'm just learning about Taylor Swift. Please be kind.
I don't know. We're the same age, I believe. So,
Yay, high five. Yay, old.
Yes. So, question 4. Um, you're on an island. You're stuck there for the rest of the time. What 5 books, omnibuses, runs are you bringing with you?
I'm using a cheat sheet right now. I don't know if that holds up. I've got a lot of old books on this. Shoot, what? Well, my book for one, because
Okay.
I'm going to pour over that over and over again and ask myself, what were you thinking? Like, this is brilliant. No, this is terrible. And go through that. So that's number one. You know, I I have yet to read the original Evangelion manga series. I'll take that because I love the anime so much. I would love to read that and probably pour over all those stinking details. Um, what else I got? It's so hard. Since I'm such a bad reader. I'm such a bad reader. People give me books and like, here you go, read this. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm disappointing. I could tell
Yeah.
you 5 albums.
Sure. Go ahead.
All right, Depeche Mode, Songs from Faith and Devotion, Songs of Faith and Devotion, Perfect Circle, Mer the Nom. I can give you 2. Now my brain's like, what do you want? Iris, Casting Waves. I can visualize it. I know what it is. It's Iris. Third to last album that they did. Ooh, which Beatles album would I do? Oh, that's hard. I would do a Beatles album. I just don't know which one. I wonder if Rubber Soul would be good. And then I have to shake things up a little bit. That's 4 albums. So some kind of classical music, I think. Probably Baroque in style, like maybe some Chopin or something. Just so, like, if I need to have music in the background on this awful island, I'll pretend I'm having a tea party or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Question 5. Uh, what's the biggest obstacle that you face as a indie creator?
um, Capitalism, AI.
Okay.
There's a
Yeah.
well, I'll spin this a little bit more in a positive light. I want to set out and make my own rules. I want to put out my work and have people receive it. And whatever that takes, I'm going to try and make that happen. And I know, like, right now it's really devastating because, money is hard in comics. Like, comics don't pay. They haven't paid in a long time, but they are getting worse and worse by the day. And publishers are not all publishers. I feel like that's a statement there. Not all publishers, but I mean, like, some publishers are just not very good in treating their talent with respect and what they provide them. But I mean, I from the flip side is there any money in comics period that these publishers have to give to creators? So I understand their plight, but sometimes they need to not chew off more than they can chew, I guess. But I know a lot of good publishers out there. It's a small world. Some people actually take care of us, and I'm very grateful and thankful for them. And of course, I'm trying to do my own thing. I have an imprint. We started off as a publisher, and then we quickly realized we have a lot of learning to do before we get our feet on the ground and really doing the thing. But until then, we have Machina Corpse. It's my beloved little entity that me and my husband formed. We published God Machine under that title, the remastered edition of it, revision. And I don't know, it's a dark little time right now because AI surely is swooping in, and people are not recognizing a lot of things that AI does. And it's hard because I'm a freelance artist as well, and that's how I make the bills because it's not comics. Sometimes I get a thing in, but that's besides the point. But the jobs that I do might be like I might be replaced at some point in some of the things I do. I can fully see one of my clients going to the AI route and be like, "Hey, Chan, fix his hand." Like, oh God, not another hand with 5 billion fingers on it. But I don't really want to do that because it feels unethical. It's so bad. I'm like, the stealing of artwork is rough. But like I said, I want to spin it in a more positive route. Much like anybody who's watching, I hope you remember that you are the only one who can do what you do. And I'm the only one who can do God Machine. Like, I can write it, I can draw it. I can't letter for shit, but that's why I've got other. Taylor Esposito did the revision, and Steve's on Volume 2's letters. I can't even with letters. I lettered the original God Machine, and that was enough.
Okay.
But I want to say to anyone who's out there, don't lose hope. So,
Okay. Sorry to end on such a down.
it's okay. I mean, it's it's something that needs to be talked about, I think. And I sometimes try not to talk anymore on Facebook, but for whatever reason, I talked today about AI and contests that are not very sportsmanlike. And
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like, why? I don't know. Just respect creators. Give them a living wage. Give them a perfectly good amount of money to do what they do. Like, stop. Stop this nonsense. And if you can't pay that, don't be in comics. I don't know. Or at least make things fair. I think that might be the other route. Like, say this contest, this theoretical contest that didn't do anything except for, like, you could be featured on the cover of blah blah blah. It's like, cool. And they could have been like, we'll give you X amount to sell at conventions, or like something. Like, if they're not going to compensate them with like actual dollars, which they should, because it's a cover illustration for a major book, which some of those things go from $500 to $1,000 in terms of what people get paid, if not more. I don't know. Just something. I don't like the exposure. Everyone dies of exposure. You put somebody out in the snow in like 0-degree weather, they're going to die. You at least have to pay them in jackets and clothing. I'm just saying.
No, that's fine. Again, sorry to turn it so dark.
It's okay. It's all right.
So as we kind of wrap up here, kind of, if you want to kind of give a pitch for the God Machine, where people can find it and where they can find, you and your work on the social media.
Sure. Okay. So right now, the God Machine. Oh, this is already starting off great. Okay, so I definitely think everybody should go and see the God Machine if you like mature, gothy, weird comics. They're kind of like the SLG days, those indie 2000s kind of vibes, but with a little updated twist. I definitely recommend the God Machine. Of course, I would recommend it. Okay. So you can find the God Machine and our other comics that we're currently publishing on Global Comics at machinacorpse.com. And that will take you to the hub at Global Comics. I would try to tell you the whole line of HTTP. Oh my God, I am doing a great job. If you like this nonsense, you can also find me at Spooky Chan on X and Blue Sky, actually. Blue Sky so much better. And Threads and TikTok for I don't know how long. I don't know what just happened with that, if it's banned or not. I don't know. I'm Chandra free over at TikTok. But you can also find my company's website at Machina Corpse on the YouTube, the Instagram, the X, Blue Sky. Oh, I've covered all my bases, by the way. And you can also.
Don't you have a don't you have a
link.
4-page comic on a Kickstarter that's currently running?
I do. Thank you for remembering for me. Wow, and I'm blanking. It's like a star, wish upon a star, I think is the
Yeah, something like that. There be stars, or
it's something, wish upon a star. I think that's it. It's a fairy tale anthology set in the future. And I'm working with Christian Angela. Oh, sweet Christian, I'm so sorry if I screwed up your last name. I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible at looking at things and reading, period.
I've already screwed up yours, so where are you?
Hey, yay! We're doing good. We're old and we screw up names. Oh, he's such a sweetheart, and he's my friend, and we're doing this comic together. He's on writing, and I'm doing the art, and the script's really great. I just read it today. I'm really looking forward to it, and he's got lots of challenges for me, so that should be interesting. But right now, the Kickstarter needs your help quite a bit in order for it to succeed. I think it's at 4K at the moment. I think they're going for 16. I could be wrong. My brain has been in a billion places lately. I've been getting ready for a comic to come out. In fact, let me tell you about that. So tomorrow, Thursday, the 14th, marks the last day that God Machine Volume 1 chapter drops on that'll be a Thursday. And so what's going to happen is next week, depending on when this comes out, I don't assume anything. It's like, it could come out today, it could come out tomorrow. Anyways, sorry, getting goofy. I'm always goofy. I'm everywhere. Again, brain places. So starting the 19th, which is the beginning of the solstice, is the first foray into volume 2. Of course, it's a tea party. We're going to be having 4 pages of a recap of what happened in God Machine 1, in case you read it a long time ago or something like that. It's funny, it's cute. I actually recommend reading it because it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun little recap. It features the kitties, Angel Kitty, Devil Kitty, Limbo Kitty, having a little tea party and a little chat about what happened in God Machine Volume 1. Then, starting on Thursday, the 21st, God Machine Volume 2 starts off with a 2-page starter. And then we go from that to Tuesday, Thursday, every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. A page will drop. And I know it's minor, 1 page. I shouldn't downplay myself, but it's like I'm trying to tackle a lot of things, including a comic now. So, yay!
Yeah.
But yeah, no, please, everyone, keep up to date. Come visit for our Tuesdays and Thursdays over at machinacorpse.com, over at Global Comics. We also, in the coming weeks, will restart one of our other web comics, John Died on a Monday, that's written and drawn by Stephen Emond, my husband. I did a few guest strips a long time ago. I've been bad about doing my own guest strips on there. They were funny. It's a slacker comic with some very familiar characters in it. Those will update Monday to be announced, and hopefully we'll have Steve's comic Emo Boy come back on. Oh dear. Apple's doing a thing. Oh geez. Anyways, we're hoping to have Emo Boy come back for Wednesdays, and then on Fridays, yeah, we got a whole schedule here. On Fridays on our YouTube at Machina Corpse, we have a video come out for Let's Make Comics or any other little thing if you want to catch up with us, or like this Friday, we're having an interview with Dave Roman. We interviewed him for his book, Unicorn Boy. So yeah, lots of stuff. And if you just want to see my artwork, period, go to spookychan.com. Hey, you got Unicorn Boy. And I did read that one. I thought that would be a good thing to do before interviewing somebody. I did read. I read a book. I'm very happy. But yeah, spookychan.com. You can find me on Linktree, which might make things easier. linktr.ee/machinacorpse. That'll help you go to all our various things. And also, I have a personal one, which is Linktree. SpookyChan. Also, find me on Instagram. Oh my god! Please help these poor people find me.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat. And like I said earlier, I mean, I probably introduced myself at one of the super shows, and so I've kind of been following you through, not stalking. Just,
No. In this day and age, people follow each other, and it's not stalking at all. Stalking is when you know my address and you're about to send me something or show up at my door. That's a different story. Please, no one do that. That is not recommended.
got it. Well, maybe when when volume 3 is, ready, then, you can come back and we can chat about that.
Sure. That sounds awesome.
All right. Well, thank you and have a good evening.
You too. All right. Bye, Chad.